This is Philly Talk with Philly Mike. Talking sixes in the bird gang, that's our life. Competition, we ain't scared, yeah, that's what we like. Win or lose, you know we showing up and we gon' fight. You see we strive for the sky every day that go by. And every single week we screaming fly, eagles fly. This is Philly Talk with Philly Mike, yeah. This is Philly Talk with Philly Mike, yeah.
No. That whole safety saga we got going on, right? It looked like we only had both Epps and Harris to be in line to be the starters with Kavon Wallace getting some play and having an opportunity to make his name, but he got to stay healthy and take care of his own business. But now we see Tart thrown into it. If you had to just predict come day one or how the Eagles are going to feel after this camp, who gets the two starting nods, do you think?
I'm gonna go on a limb. I'm gonna say it's gonna be Epps and Tart. I think Tart is eventually gonna beat out Anthony Harris. I do. I think he's a little more versatile. I think he's a little better in pass coverage, and I think Tart is going to beat out Anthony Harris. I think they like Epps, and I think they want to give him reps. Right? He's young, so to me, the battle is really Harris versus Tart. I think that's what you're going to see.
Yeah, when we first got Tart, that was my spin on it. That, we look at Anthony Harris like as a guy who's automatically locked. No, he got a 1-year deal just like Tart. When you have that 1-year deal, you could be just as good as a depth piece. You're not necessarily having to play. And especially, you've seen the Eagles start to throw Epps in the mix a lot more. And he actually played very, very soundly in a minimal amount of snaps. Now we got to see him do that with volume, but it should be interesting. But that was my first take too. I'll definitely want to look at what goes on in camp and preseason, but I could definitely see a scenario where it's Tart Epps. Not saying Harris don't get on, but at one time more of a free safety. Now he's playing more in the box as of late, and so he could be that extra guy on run support and to help in passing downs on a big nickel.
It may take a while too. Like you could see, I could see a situation where like the first 4 or 5 weeks you have Anthony Harris, and then they make a move at some point with Tart taking over. But I like Tart. I thought that was a good sneaky signing, and I think he's going to win the starting job.
Now I know you've been big with debates.
Yes, yeah.
What would it take? Like what do you think it would take to actually secure him in a trade?
That's a great question. I don't know. I think a lot of it depends on how long this thing goes. We know the Bengals can be very stubborn, right? I kind of look at Bates as like a situation where maybe you get him at the trade deadline. Like he could be a trade deadline piece for a team because it'll give Cincinnati time to be frustrated with him that he didn't show up or whatever. But I don't know. I mean, I guess you have to think about a first-round pick, but I don't want to really spend a first-round pick on him. Not until I know that Jalen Hurts is the guy, right? Because I have 2 first-round picks. I need to know that Jalen Hurts is the guy. If Jalen Hurts goes out there and let's say he's killing it, and you get close to the trade deadline, then I'm willing to wheel and deal. Otherwise, I would look at a situation where maybe I give up like a second and something else. Something like that. But I would try to keep that first round pick. I think you got to try to keep both those first round picks.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think, unless it was a sweet, sweet deal, I don't think I would even want to do anything that's going to still mortgage our future crazily until we know more about this team in its totality. I think that we are set up now to be everything we want to be if we are who we think we are. And that's where you can then do all of your due diligence throughout the season and figure out what this team needs. So to say like how in 2017, we really started to feel the fire that we had and we went out there and made that last signing with a Jay Ajayi. Just because we did a running back then don't mean we won't do like a safety or a position of need now. Right. I think you have to be sure about that because although I'm a believer in Jalen Hurts, I remember the concerns. I saw growth throughout the season because from September to December, we've seen a lot from not really wanting to throw to the left a little bit more, not messing with his tight end a little bit more, staying in the pocket a little bit more. Was he Peyton Manning in the pocket? No, but we saw the little pieces the little increment of growth. And so I'm willing to give it another shot, but I still have my concerns as a consistent passer. He's a baller, he's a playmaker, but to really continue to win and not and we've seen it. We've seen even guys who get 1 year on top of their game. Sometimes the NFL takes a little bit, but they adjust. And so I just want to see where his game goes up and where the NFL looks at him this year.
I 100% agree. I'm hopeful that Jalen Hurts is going to be the guy. I'm hopeful he's going to improve, but I can't tell you for sure right now. I got to see on the field. There's got to be things that he gets better at. I thought, I remember that I think it was the second half of that Chargers game. I thought that was the game where he took a step forward, because you remember he go back to pass his read ain't there. He bails to his right, always bails to his right. In that Chargers game, he started to stay in the pocket a little more, and I thought he improved a lot. That was the game that made me think, well, you got to give this guy more time. So hopefully another year, and he's going to go out there and prove it. But it's impossible for me to know right now.
Yeah. And a lot of times you would see the games that show you something, and then there's a game that kind of brings it back to earth.
Yeah.
That could be a couple things. We got to remember, he's a young guy. He's 23 years old. So even good guys who are 23-year-olds have bad games, and he's been trying to improve his passing, being a consistent passer and win from the pocket, win with his arm. But I definitely saw the increments, and I do believe in the work ethic and the attitude and just the winning mentality. He's a guy who, in clutch time and crunch time, if the game is close, he has so many different ways to move the change. And I believe in the way we went about it. A roster can elevate the talent of a quarterback and really bring out the best. And then it's all about feeling comfortable and knowing what you need to do. So I have high hopes for Jalen Hurts too. I mean, he looks to his left, he looks to his right. You got to feel comfortable with the weapons around you.
Right. You would think so. Of all the years, you go back. The Eagles. I guess Macklin, Jackson, Shady. That was a really great trio, right? That was really good. This, in my opinion, has the potential to be better. Because I look at Devontae Smith and AJ Brown as both legit number ones. So the Eagles did everything possible to make and help Jalen Hurts succeed. You know what I'm saying? They didn't hold back. They didn't, there's not a whole side of the wide receiver where we're going, he needs help. He doesn't have enough help. They gave him everything you could possibly ask for. So, there's no excuse. There's just no excuse, in my opinion. Barring massive amounts of injuries and whatnot. He's got receivers. He's got a tight end. He's got running backs. He's got probably top 3 offensive line in football. There's no excuse.
None at all.